Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Deaths, back with another Kamihime project video. This one's a little bit different. It's going to be kind of like an update video, but I'm not really going to go too much into all the updates, but I am going to point out some things about this stuff that's happened on the global side. And some of it I kind of do have to go over a little bit just to make some things clear, even though some people probably figured it out by now. But starting off, there's a Advent reprint. I'm not going to go over that event again because it wasn't too long ago. Like, I think I did it like sometime like last year, and it's pretty much the same info basically, because it's after the point where they stopped giving us heroic fights for Evan. So just basically just look at that. But there are some interesting little updates they have given us, so I do have to go over that. First and foremost, something I do have to clarify when it comes to the malicious raids. We don't have drops for the accessories just yet. I have no idea when that's supposed to show up. I thought it was supposed to be here by the time we got the drops from the Guardian Plus raids, but apparently not. As you saw just now, there's login bonuses and all that. You can do that type of stuff. Another thing I should mention too, we're about to have a Tower of Malice coming up. I do believe it's the light tower, so you need your dark teams. Get that ready. But I'm going into this one because this is important. I haven't done all of them just yet, but I haven't even started the event too. I'm going to do that at some point. But clear your raid fights. For some weird reason, I cleared the one with 150 before all these other ones. But clear your raid fights with multiple people. Free gacha pools, basically. And some of them are daily as well. So try and do that. I don't even know why it's giving us this one twice in a row. It's just ridiculous. I blame programming for them, but it's weird. But there's that. I've gotten most of my 10 chains, in fact. But there's all those. Then on top of that too, of course, event missions and all that. I don't have to say the usual stuff for that one. Again, just watch a whole video for that. But there's some stuff in the gacha too that I need to clarify as well. But this jumbo ticket is like a raffle ticket. If anybody gets it, you can get some extra stuff or whatever. But you can't do it as a free player, so ignore that if it's if you're not spending on the game. But those that do spend on it, you are guaranteed to get at least, I think it's 3,000 jewels for every single ticket. You could get better prizes. I mean, I've known a few people that's gotten better prizes, like SSR guaranteed. Some of them even got the miracle tickets, which is the special tickets, the ones that let you pick anything. But there's that. There's like other stuff too. I do have to mention that this little drop rate increase right here, where it says SSR drop rate times 2. That is literally how it works. It's not one of those boosted rates where it's like, okay, the SSR rate still stays at 3, like 3%, but you got a better chance of getting characters in there. No, it just ups the entire chance of getting all the SSR in there. And this one's element based, it's all win based, so keep your eyes open for those if you're spending on this game too, because they're very, very good if you want to be honest. It's like 6% rate for this one. Some of them go up to like, I think 18, maybe even 21% SSR. So they're probably the best gachas to try and go after outside of the guarantees, if you ask me. And of course stuff like the bricks and all that. But there's those. Of course, there's other stuff here. I've been asked a bit about the Weapon Fest. It could be worth it depending on what's in there. They do have the weapons you need the Dragonic Eye trades for. They used to be in the game a long time ago as the weapons that you get that don't release a Kamihime. Some of them are still pretty strong. My suggestion, if you don't mind, pull on those. But I would suggest going after the limited banners more than the other stuff. So there you go. There's even a limited rerun going on right now. I don't need to explain too much about this type of stuff except for the fact that the Lucky Gacha, you could try your luck with it. It is cheaper than the normal pools, but personally, I wouldn't do it if you're trying to rack up magic jewels because you'll get cleaned out pretty quickly if you do all the pools on that. Other things to mention too. I haven't done it yet, but there's more storyline. they did not forget about the storyline, guys. I do believe we can finish off this entire chapter right here, and there's still another one we haven't even gotten yet. So there's that. Another interesting little thing I need to point out too is that with the raids and all that type of stuff, they have given us the light militias. I've done a video on that. Check that out if you want to see how that fight's going on. I did screw up a little bit with my team on there because I got some conflicting debuffs, and then I also played it a little bit differently than how I'm doing it now, but it does give you a general idea of how the fight works. Trust me when I say this, you do want to try and do as much damage as possible. People that come in the raids with Asclepius, if you're not in there with like a bunch of other people to do it, then you're not going to help out that much. I'm serious when I say this, but you need at least a good 5, maybe 6 of them in there in order to try and keep everybody alive, because it's a damage race basically, and the more damage that you do, the safer the fight gets. That's how that works. So that's something that you really need to focus on more than bringing healers into that fight, but you still could bring a healer. Some people got some pretty good damage even with a healer. It all depends on how it works. We'll eventually get the one for Dark, and that's the one I'm going to probably try and solo the minute it shows up, so look forward to that. But speaking of raids though, too, I do want to show... I didn't mean to go to the event, I meant to go to this one. I do want to show the new system that you've probably already seen. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail with it, but I'm going to start with this White Ragnarok right here. So you'll see that on camera. And I've even upgraded some weapons too, so my highest team right here has now 102 power because I've upgraded pretty nicely on it. But that's not the one I want to use, not Romulus either. Okay, yeah, this one works. But I'm going to show off the old ability battle system or whatever they have. Like the new ability queue. So, here's the deal with that. There goes my computer. Basically, when you do any sort of action, it queues up. So, I can basically go like this, and then zip and do all this, and then put that up, and put this up. Also put these up, and you see how it just lines all that type of stuff up. This is more for people that play on manual, because when it comes to anybody that does this stuff on like auto, like if you stop and hit this AAB thing and attack, this doesn't speed up any actions or change any of that type of stuff. All this will still go off before you step and actually start the auto stuff. So that's how that works. So it doesn't help the auto ability people, not at all. Well, it does barely, but just not directly. So that's the thing I had to mention with that one. So you do have to be a tad bit careful on that one. It's just how it works. But basically, when you do those, it should help out with your actions and all that type of stuff too. So you're generally trying to like speed up all the actions that you do on that. And now I'm going to try and get some damage cut going because I'm about to get nuked pretty hard. But, and then on top of that, I think the boss is about to die too, so I can heal. But when you do all that, it kind of helps you out with all that type of stuff. So, if there's anything that says connecting, you can't click on anything, so just remember that at the time. But just know that it's all dependent on what you do when it comes to this type of stuff. Like, I can sit back and do all these different actions, and well, I can click this and have that prepared, then hit the attack button, and it'll automatically run through these abilities. I don't mind using them right now. So, as you can see, there you go. It helps you get to your auto battle a little bit more accurately if you want to use certain skills beforehand, but it doesn't help auto ability battle at all. At least not directly. So that's the one thing I wanted to clear up about it. So, basically when you try to manual, you really need to think ahead about what you're doing, because it also goes by targeting. Like for instance, if I change targets, whoever was targeted with the skill that I tried to use a single target attack on is going to be the one that gets smacked, even if I change targets after that. That's how the queue works. So, there's 3 enemies in that fight. If I had a single target that would hit one of them, like Ana hits elemental resistance debuff that she has, then it would target her. It would target the middle one that I already was looking at. So it would hit that one target even if I changed it. So remember what you set it to beforehand and try to plan accordingly like that. You'll get the hang of it the more you use it. It's going to be in the game to stay basically, but it's not a bad thing to have. It's really, really good in fact. And it did seem like it sped up the servers and all that type of stuff. It definitely speeds up fights and all that too. And the other thing I need to mention too, I'm not exactly sure if I covered it already or if it even was in the game already, but there's now a time limit on every single thing for certain. So keep note that you now have a 90-minute limit on all your fights at the very most. Raids still have an hour limit, so you can't have them there forever. That's something to know, that's something to keep track of, so remember it. But generally that's a lot of the stuff I wanted to sit and cover. I managed to do that before Ana had even got her abilities back. That's like 8 turns, I believe. But yeah, like for instance, if I go into, say, like I go into the quest, and then I go into, say I want some experience orbs or something like that, and then I just select my team. There you go. I'm going to this one. But I go into there, select my team. I don't even need to use abilities in this fight either. I can just do it like this. But notice how there's up in the corner where it says stage 1-3. There's a timer now. I don't remember when it came into the game, but there's a timer. You have 90 minutes to clear all your stuff. The reason I mention this is because of the fact that there are heroic fights too, if you want to take them on, and they also have this timer. So heroic fights will no longer last forever. If you tank too much and don't have enough damage, it wouldn't even matter if the enemy can't kill you. You still would run out of time. So be careful of that. But only other thing I can mention too is the fact that when it comes to trying to upgrade your stuff to Ultimate Break, please be diligent and make sure you grind this and have some stuff on hand and all that too. It really drains your supplies. I've probably suggested it in other videos, but like, see, I got all of these, but this still isn't anywhere close to what I need because I got 214,000. It's about 500,000 per weapon that you get to 5th star, which is, it's called Final Break 2, but some people call it Ultimate Break. It's 500,000 per weapon, and I'm already done it on quite a few weapons so far. I still need to do it on more, but as you can see when I sort it all out, I've done it on 4 weapons so far. I should be able to do it on more pretty soon, but it eats up your supplies. Be very, very careful of that type of stuff. And then on top of that too, it really spikes up their stats, because those are base stats that you probably have with the null weapons and all that. Up to you if you want to use a null weapon or not. I'd say test it out and see what's better, because currently my grid is fine with it. So that's up to you. But that's another thing I really need to point out. But you can see the base stats are still pretty high on these. Like 500 HP and 6,000 attack. On all those weapons, I got glaives on them. And then I still got about the same amount of HP with this weapon right here, which is a 50 Dragonic Eye weapon. That I clicked on but didn't hit the details. This weapon over on the side. Like, that's the stats normally right there. But when I put it in the glaive grid, there you go for that type of stats. And it's only going to get even higher later down the line. They'll buff those weapons. But, again, it's up to you. Test it out, see if it works for you. Me, I'm going to end up changing this grid a little bit, because I'm trying to get some better stuff now that Malicious is out. Something I really need to clarify. You may or may not be using these phantom weapons. So, there you go. Same case with Lucent. It depends on your teams. But, I'm pretty much really, really decked out with all this type of stuff now. But, anyways, like, I even maxed out this South Star and this North Star. That's why they're sitting there with that much stats. But, anyways, that's all for this. Just something to cover some updates and showcase some different things and all that type of stuff, too. And then, another thing I could show on camera, too. Something that, I kind of want to go into that Malicious, but I don't want to do it on camera. But something else too that I kind of want to go into a tiny bit. I guess I could probably, well, it's gonna be awkward with this team, but I still will try it. But I've been asked a little bit about this type of setup too, where I got like a team that can do 4 full bursts in a row. They can only do 3 because I didn't change Michael's equipment to have Devil. I got a video that covers that type of stuff. So basically, let me hit support ID. But basically, you need to calculate how much you're going to get on burst gauges for everybody and go according with that. That's something that you probably want to set up like at one point or another, a team that can just nuke multiple times if they can during burst time, because it's something that actually exists for all elements. Every element can do it, I think, at least 2 or 3 times. Light can do it 4 times, but I've covered that a little bit with the one team I showed. This one can do it 4 times in a row like that. Is very, very powerful. Like, see, here's 2 right here. I could do a third and a fourth one depending on the rage bars and all that, but it ain't happening right now. But you get what I mean about that type of stuff. It's like, it's still quite powerful. It's still quite strong. It all depends on how you set your stuff up. So that's something to know. Like, I can already get 3 right here. This isn't how I do 4, but I can get 3 right here. So that's something to know. That's something to note. Like, try to do your best on that type of stuff. I'm glad I got some characters that actually force their debuffs on the enemy. Like, I got Uriel who can do it with burst. So I'm upping my burst damage like that. Again, something you really need to think and plan out ahead on, because you just never know. So there you go for that one. And I really didn't intend for this team to finish the fight anyways. It's just there to just, you know, hopefully do some stuff. But as you can see, I really pushed the HP bars on the enemies right there. And I still could have got 4 full bursts, but I'm just going to attack once more. Hope they survive and then zip and break out this other one and just nuke again. Like, bursts aren't dead, guys. I have to clarify that. Bursts are not dead. Ability damage isn't dead. It all depends on your setup. It all depends on how you do things. Because trust me when I say this, it is very, very good. You still just have to know how to use it. But anyways, that's all for this. More of this will come soon. You're going to see another tower video, of course, because I do tower every single time. But, there's not too much more I can really sip and say outside of that. But anyways, that's all for this. I'm going to finish off this fight, and I will have another video for tower pretty soon. Not too long after it comes out. I'm probably going to get it out the way very quickly. But that's all for now, guys. More will come soon, and take care.